Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Domino's. I'm Daniel Berk, here with Greg Hansen, and we're in the middle of the Star newsroom. And Greg, here recently in the last couple of days or so, we've gained some clarity as to what the Pac-12 will look like next basketball season, with guys declaring and coming back. And as you said off camera, some major dominoes have fallen. Spencer Dinwiddie in Colorado going pro, Jordan Adams at UCLA coming back, and Joseph Young in Oregon coming back. What are some of your thoughts on those decisions and what that means for Arizona and the Pac next year?
I think Joseph Young of Oregon is the top recruit in the league. I look at him as a recruit. Jordan Adams is right with him, 1A. Two best players coming into the league. You can kind of say they're coming in because you thought they were going out.
Right.
So I think those two teams are now set behind Arizona's 2 and 3 in the league. Even though it's April, I think, as you said, the dominoes have fallen. Colorado would have been number 2 if Spencer Dinwiddie had come back. I really think so. But now they just got two guards, Booker and Xavier Johnson, who are dribblers and shooters, and it's all about me. So I think Colorado will fall. Won't be a big factor at the end. Won't be a national team. So I think good for Oregon, good for UCLA.
You mentioned Oregon and UCLA probably being 2 and 3 behind Arizona, but can either of those teams really challenge Arizona next year, or is it already in April Arizona's league to lose?
Every time you think that,
yeah,
it seems like you're wrong. Because, UCLA, through the years, you think they're not going to be that good, and they're good. And, they've got players, Parker, Powell, Jordan Adams, and that Bryce Alford guy, if they can get him under control, plus the transfer from UTEP, who had the letter of intent problems, that's 5 good players. Who has 5 better players than that other than Kentucky?
Right. We're talking to Greg Hansen. This is his video notebook brought to you by Domino's. And as we talk about those dominoes falling, nationally they are too. Frank Kaminsky, a name that makes all Arizona fans cringe, announced today that he's for sure coming back. Andrew and Aaron Harrison from Kentucky announced they're coming back, which really surprised me. Kentucky's now going to have 9 McDonald's All-Americans on their roster next year. And a quick look at the top 25 for next year, CBS Sports at least, has Arizona at number 3. Where do you see them falling in nationally, and some of those other kind of dominoes that have fallen in, kind of your impressions?
I think Arizona will like it that Kentucky's taking the pressure off. You don't have to go in with the big target on you. Maybe Kentucky will be 27-0 in late February or something, so Arizona might never have a shot at number 1. That's pretty stupid to say right now. But Kentucky just who has more talent than Kentucky has? Ever. Did John Wooden's team have that many good players? I don't know. So I think Kentucky's obviously going to be the big one, and I like Wisconsin so much. Is big 2 with Arizona. I'm kind of eager for November to roll around.
Yeah, it'd be great if we could get another Arizona-Wisconsin rematch next year. Because Wisconsin pretty much has their entire team coming back, and Arizona certainly down a couple of notable pieces. But that'd be fun to see those two teams hook up again, because that was a fun game last year.
Yeah, let's have Tommy Green with the whistle too late in the game. See what he calls this time.
And real quick, Greg, while we have you here, we're going to switch gears a little bit. Last week we talked briefly about Arizona football in the spring game, and we talked about Gerard Randall and the quarterback situation. On the other side of the ball, what were your impressions of the defense from the spring game, and how much is that group going to miss Jake Fisher in the middle of that group? Not so much because he wasn't the most talented guy in the pack, but he was the clear leader of that unit. How much are they going to miss him and that?
I think that's what they miss is a roustabout.
Yeah.
That's an old term, but a guy who makes things happen, whose teammates look at him and feed off of him. I don't think Arizona has a player you can identify in that role yet. Tremaine Bondred, I don't know.
Yeah.
Jared Tevis. If I'm on the team, Jared Tevis is the guy I'm probably looking at.
Yeah.
But, he's not an NFL skill player. That's one of the big questions going into fall is, can Arizona develop somebody who can make a difference on defense?
Do you see that unit continuing to improve? It took the first year under Jeff Castile, obviously that pass defense just struggled. Last year it got more towards respectability. Do you expect them to continue to improve here in the next year?
I do. They cut almost 100 yards per game off their total defense last year. I think they'll be even better this year. But still, it's not an elite unit by any means. They're going to have to win with, those 6 receivers they have and the 5 offensive linemen they have.
That's not a bad way to do it with that receivers. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Domino's. For the franchise, Greg Hansen, I'm Daniel Berk saying thanks for watching.
At Domino's, we're slowing down to make our handmade pan pizza the right way, taking our time to hand press the fresh dough into the pan, adding 2 layers of cheese, and slowing our ovens down to get the crust golden and crispy. So try a Domino's handmade pan pizza with 2 toppings for just $7.99.